Did Wayne just prove he should have got the Super Bowl?
Like Burke, she made that thing jump like and that's when she okay, excuse my charisma, vodka with a spritzer.
What up, words? Your boy Challz Brown back again talking facts. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe, hit that notification bell. Keep sending those Cashaps to CLBMG gang. Listen, I want to say thanks for the new subscribers. I just hit 20K subscribers, and it was kind of fast. I appreciate you guys watching and being a part of the movement. Salute. We ain't going nowhere but up. 4.5 million views. So I must be cooking a little bit. Let me know in the comments, gang. But listen, I want to talk about this Lil Wayne situation because there's a lot to unpack, and I do not want to be biased or unfair to the legend that is Lil Wayne. And I don't want people walking away thinking I didn't give this a real thought. I watched Lil Wayne's SNL 50 performance, no word of a lie, at least 9-10 times in a row, just to get my thoughts complete on the performance. I am a big SNL fan. I know you like, Challz, black people don't watch SNL. Yeah, I do. I've been watching SNL since I was like 5-6 years old. My childhood was weird. I was up late, gang. I was up watching TV 5, 6, 7 years old, all through the 80s, all through the 90s. I've been watching SNL. So I was in my house when the 50th came on. I didn't even know. It was like Sunday. And it was on in the living room. Wifey had it on. And I was like, oh, it's tonight? She's like, yeah. So I'm doing stuff and kind of paying attention, watching it. I saw Eddie Murphy do the skit about Scared Straight. And I saw a lot of people over the years that I've been seeing since I was a little kid. And I didn't know where. I'm just chilling. I hear Dave Chappelle goes and give it up for Lil Wayne, right? Lil Wayne, Questlove, and the Roots, which sounds like a dream team. Now, this right here is after all the controversy. You're like, why would they have Lil Wayne on SNL 50? It low-key makes no sense. But with all the controversy, all of the New Orleans, I should have got the Super Bowl, all of that means the perfect time to have Lil Wayne, Young Money's finest, on the show. And that is literally, I'm going to be honest, Wayne has no new music out. He's going to drop the new, what is it, Carter 6, I want to say? He's going to drop that, but he ain't dropped it yet. Wayne has no new music whatsoever. Why would you have Lil Wayne? Because of the Super Bowl controversy. Now, a lot of us formed our opinions about Lil Wayne's ability to perform a few months ago. When he came out, I'm just going to be honest, low-key, wham, that he didn't get the Super Bowl. Now, all of us will love, if we're artists and this is what we do and we think we have been putting in enough work for 20 years and the Super Bowl is coming to our city, yeah, sure, put me on the bill. But many of us said it's Kendrick's time. He has the biggest record in the world. This is the biggest moment in the world. Jay-Z was right. Put Kendrick on the Super Bowl. Lil Wayne went so far as to make several videos. One was he was destroyed. He was trying to hold back tears because they snatched away his Super Bowl performance that was rightfully his. It's in his city. He did enough work. He thought that he was a shoo-in. He thought it was a lock that he would be the performer of Super Bowl, was it 57? I don't know what it was. Lil Wayne thought he was a lock and a shoe-in, and the names were submitted. And it's still not clear if the names are submitted to the city before or after. But the rules state that the Jay-Z committee, whoever's on that committee, they pick a name, a list of names of who they say they want it to be, and then submit it to the city. That is what the rules stated, that's how that goes. So all I can do is assume that's how it goes. Now, we're hearing a lot of conflicting reports that no, it's just Jay-Z, and he hands the city one name, and that's the name of the performer, and that's the end of the story. So apparently, I'm going to go with that story, that Jay-Z handed New Orleans, one name, and one name was Kendrick. It was an uproar, a lot of fake, I'm not even gonna say fake, it was a lot of reaction from people in and around and outside of New Orleans that this was a joke, and a lot of Drake fans, let's just be honest, that this was a joke. Lil Wayne was being prosecuted and he was getting the short end of the stick. He was getting bamboozled. And it should be Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne is a legend, 20 years of music. And Jay-Z is a jerk for overlooking that man. Jay-Z still hates Wayne for what he said about Beyonce. I kidnap your lady money. It's all Jay-Z. But then the other side started to come out. Well, Wayne ain't that good of a performer right now. Did you see him at the Essence Fest? Like, it was like a rap civil war. And I did videos on it. A lot of people did videos on it. And we all, for lack of a better word, to some degree, I don't care who you are, you love Lil Wayne in your own way. Some people got big love for him. Like Kendrick got big love for Lil Wayne. Kendrick was drunk on live begging Lil Wayne not to retire. So Kendrick got big love for Lil Wayne. Some of us got a medium love for Lil Wayne. We respect what he does. Lil Wayne had to win me over with this hip-hop stuff. When he was younger and he was brash, I was like, you just a young dude. You spitting, you're okay. But you're for the young kids, right? Lil Wayne didn't really impress me till he buckled down and started to study the classics. He started to study Jay-Z. This is all facts, gang. Go back. He studied Jay-Z, studied Biggie, he studied the masters. And I believe it was either the Carter 2 or the Carter 3. I think it was the Carter 2, because the Carter 3 was even bigger than the Carter 2. Carter 2 is where he took his lyricism seriously. Carter 2 is where he started to come for Jay-Z and that coveted crown. And he admittedly said he was impressed and motivated by Jay-Z and other lyricists who were considered greats. Top five, top five, top five. And I actually listened to Carter 2. And I said, you know what? This dude stepped his game up. Stepped his game up lyrically. I was impressed. I was riding through New York one night and I put on the Carter 2. And I was like, yo, yeah, I can't front on this dude with this particular project. He kind of stepped his game up, and everybody had to admit it. Even New York heads who were fighting Lil Wayne's progression. Then he came out with the Carter 3. I think that's the one with Lollipop and all that stuff like that, which was an even bigger record, which I enjoyed a lot of the Carter 3, even though, albeit it was more commercial, which I'm not a big commercial rap guy, but I can appreciate commercial rap. I say all of that to say Lil Wayne had his time. At one point, Lil Wayne was the obvious predecessor to Jay-Z, who had an immaculate career himself. And there was no question that there was a very short list of who was running hip-hop when Wayne had it back in between 03, 08, 09. When Lil Wayne had it, it's a very short list of who else had it with him, right? You had Jay-Z, Eminem, Ludacris, you had Nelly. It was a short list of who was really moving units. Let's say that. And for a time, it was good. So here we are. We got Dave Chappelle introducing Lil Wayne on SNL 50. Why is this a big deal? Well, the controversy. Kendrick just performed at the Super Bowl. And we can say mixed reviews all we want, but at the end of the day, it is the most watched Super Bowl halftime performance in history. More people watched this in regards to television sets than watched the moon landing, which has never happened in the United States before. This was the most watched event in the history of the world, according to reports. And Lil Wayne somehow decided to skip the Super Bowl which I found to be corny and sore loser-ish, to announce that he's not going to be at the Super Bowl. But he had a surprise announcement. And I don't know if that surprise ended up being the SNL Performance. So like I started to say earlier, I was in my house doing things and this and that and the third. Wasn't paying attention to the TV. All of a sudden I hear, and now Lil Wayne. I was like, oh, it's not. Lil Wayne on here? Okay. And I'm just going to be honest before I get into how I felt about the performance. I believe certain things contributed to my feelings about the performance. And I know this is going to be controversial. It's going to divide some of you in the comments. Some of you are going to say, because I looked at the videos. He put it on his own page. SNL put it on their page. I watched the video on both pages and I read the comments, and the people were genuinely kind to Lil Wayne. They were appreciative of the performance. A lot of them say it made them happy. A lot of them said this is why Lil Wayne is who he is, because he's so good at what he does. There was mad praise, and I don't know if they're deleting the bad comments, but the good comments were certainly there and plentiful. There were many people that enjoyed this performance. Now, when you go on Instagram and things like that, where his daughter saw, I think it was Shade Room, or somebody put a clip, and they were clowning the performance. They were like, this is your guy, this is who you wanted for the Super Bowl. It's a different story. They're a little meaner on those social media platforms, right? So I'm going to be somewhere in the middle. I'm going to try to balance out the meanness versus the overly happy 40, 50 plus crowd who were giddy in the comments. And I want to get to some straight up numbers and facts before I say no. Lil Wayne should not have gotten a Super Bowl. This confirms it. I'm going to tell you why. I know a lot of you are going to be like, what you mean? He should have been, he proved it. The performance was great. I want to give you my opinion of the performance. So Lil Wayne gets with Questlove and the Roots. Which you would say Questlove backed up Jay-Z for the Unplugged album. Of course this is going to be great. And they did their job. He did 5 songs in a 5-minute and 49-second performance. He did Uproar, which I liked from, I believe it was the Carter 5, I think it was. I'm not sure. But I did a review on my other music channel that album was a great album. I love that song, that Swiss Beats beat. He did Uproar. He did Lollipop. He did 6 foot, 7 foot. He did Mrs. Officer, and he did A Milli. Now, just gonna be honest. When that performance started, me and wifey was like, we looked up at the TV like, what is this? It came in and didn't sound right. Just gonna be honest. I know y'all gonna say, you a hater. I'm sorry, gang. I'm just gonna be honest. I thought Wayne's pitch was off. I thought he was a little underwhelming with his stage presence. I thought the band did not capture. I'm just sorry to tell you. These songs that Wayne has, you can't replay them with the band and get the same effect. I know bands could come very, very close. I don't think Uproar, which is a Swizz Beat song, I don't think Lollipop, I don't think 6 foot 7. Now, Mrs. Officer was the one track that the band hit. They hit it beautifully. They hit it beautifully. And A Milli, I don't think, all of those are sample driven, sample heavy specifically. They're very 808 driven, all of those songs. Lil Wayne has to come like a monster to make those songs sound good. And he was not a monster. Wayne is 42 years old. Some of these songs are when he was in his 20s. I'm just gonna be honest. He doesn't have the same energy. And furthermore, some of the lyrics don't age well. Every time he says, I'm a venereal disease, I cringe. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Some of this stuff doesn't age well. And you have to be supremely confident when you say some of these lines that he says in these old verses, I felt they rushed too many tracks in this 5 minutes, which is whatever. But I think they rushed too many tracks. I thought some of the transitions were bad. Like when he came from Lollipop to 6'7" or 6'7" to Mrs. Officer, some of these transitions were awful. I'm just gonna be honest. I thought they were rushing through these songs and they were not hitting them correctly. This music, sorry gang, these songs need to be the exact feel of how he did them in the first place. I felt he was standing around a little bit. I felt he was trying hard to remember his lyrics, which you gotta, I understand that. But at this point, them 5 songs should be a cakewalk. And I'm also going to say, I feel like they may have didn't get as much rehearsal time. Just going to be honest. So what I want to say about this, to me, and Challz, I know this is the most unfair shit ever because this is not the Super Bowl stage. He didn't have weeks and weeks to rehearse like Kendrick. He didn't have a 50, 60 man dance squad. I understand. We're grading on a curve. I'm giving you that. But at the same time, I'm grading what I saw. I like Lil Wayne. I wanted it to be better. And in some cases, it is good to a degree. But you got to really like these songs and already know these words and already know what they're supposed to feel like. Because if you don't know this stuff and you see him performing, this feels like a dude at Vegas. This feels like a dude with a Vegas, what do they call it? Whatever it is, when you have a tenure at Vegas, right? And you do shows every day for 50 weeks. This felt like an older gentleman performing stuff that he's performed so many times, he's not even excited by it anymore. I'm just going to be honest. Now, after all that hoopla and hubbub, right, about the Super Bowl, I don't care what's going on. I'm coming out there. I'm jumping on speakers. I'm going to be like, this what you missed. I didn't get that. I have no problem with Wayne, but I didn't get the feeling that you should have had me in the Super Bowl. I didn't get that, gang. And as far as zeitgeist, meaning like cultural relevance, Lil Wayne would have been the worst choice for the Super Bowl. I'm just going to be honest. Because if I'm looking at... Now, let me just tell you what just happened. Lil Wayne put this clip up of this show. Like, listen, I'm not disrespecting Lil Wayne. Before y'all get my comments, try to say I'm disrespecting Lil Wayne. I'm just giving you the facts. Lil Wayne put the clip up of this performance on his official Lil Wayne page. Has 13.4 million followers, subscribers. 13.4 million subscribers. He put the video up yesterday. The video has 230,000 views. They're not trying to see it. They don't care. And you're going to say Challz, but also Saturday Night Live put it on their thing. Vivo put it on their thing. Yes, Saturday Night Live put it on their page. Saturday Night Live's clip of this has 349,000 views. In comparison to Paul McCartney, who performed on the same episode as Lil Wayne. I just told you, Lil Wayne had, let's give him 350. He had 350,000. Paul McCartney, who's got to be in his 70s, 80s, from the Beatles, put up the same clip. They put up the same clip of Paul McCartney. He has 967,000 views. He's pushing 1 million views. He's pushing 1 million views. Paul McCartney. Lil Wayne broke 350,000. He hasn't even got half. Paul McCartney has 3 times more than Lil Wayne, who is Lil Wayne. Nobody wants to see this. Just being honest. Lil Wayne did not move the needle on this performance. In comparison, Kendrick's Super Bowl moment is over 70-something million views. One of the most viewed in history. Do you think Lil Wayne would have moved the needle had they given that to him? Do you think Lil Wayne, I don't even think Lil Wayne's performance would have beat Usher's performance. I'm just being honest. All of these songs that he performed are from 2008 and around that circa. Meaning this is all old music. I don't know if the Super Bowl wants to put a performer on who's going to receive so little of interest. Just being honest, gang. Lil Wayne is not moving the zeitgeist even slightly. With that being said, respect to Lil Wayne, but I don't know if he has it in him to do a major performance of that magnitude and elevate to the level needed to pull off these records. The lyrics in Lollipop and 6'7", you gotta say them things so confident or they sound dumb. They sound ridiculous. The reason we gave Lil Wayne a pass, what's a going to a goblin, nothing, because he didn't care what you thought. He said it with conviction and passion. It wasn't an old man up there just going through the motions. I know it's going to be tough to swallow, but I am going to go on the limb and say Lil Wayne not being chosen for the Super Bowl was the right choice. And I know this is not the Super Bowl, but we got a whole 5-song performance from Wayne. Not saying it was awful, but it wasn't that strong. And I know there's a lot of people that thought it was great. Ask yourself, were you singing most of the words or were you listening to him sing the words? Because if you're singing the words, then it sounds great. Sounds great. When you know all the words and you're putting all the inflection and you're going through it like it's 08 all over again, then it's going to be amazing to you. I sat silently and just watched. I said, let me let him perform. I don't want to do the performing. Let me let Lil Wayne perform. Let me just watch him. Lil Wayne stood still a bunch of times, motionless. He moved a little bit over here and then stood there. It was actually mid. And I'm not hating. I like Wayne. I wanted to like it. But we were watching that thing like this. That's why I had to watch it so many times again, because I didn't want to come here with my initial thoughts about it. But no disrespect to Regine, her name, his daughter. I hate that she has to defend her father. I hate that they're attacking her dad. That's her dad. I would want my kids to come to my defense. And of course your kids are going to come to their defense, as she should. Right? But at the same time, when we're going to start this conversation about Wayne should have been the headliner of the Super Bowl, then we got to keep it a buck, and I got to keep it real. I don't think, based on that performance, if that was the audition tape, next, we got to get somebody else. I don't want to see Wayne next year or the year after. I don't think Wayne's there anymore. Just going to be honest. Now, you could say, Challz, well, he could bring out Nicki, he could bring out Drake, he could bring out this guy, that guy, and the third. He could bring out Swiss Beats. He could bring out Jay-Z. He could bring out anybody. Yeah, but that ain't saying that he's good. That's saying that he could bring out features that's going to make the show better. And I don't think that's how you pick a Super Bowl act, because of the features. So I'm going to leave it at this. Lil Wayne, he did what he's supposed to do. I don't know if he has much left in the tank. He's going to give you a show. Don't get me wrong. You go to Vegas, you go to Atlantic City, you get dressed up, you get your drinks, you sit down, show begins. He's going to do all your favorite songs. But is that enough to put him on the worldwide stage in front of hundreds of millions of people and say this is the halftime show? Let me know what you think in the comments. CLBMG. I appreciate you, gang. Peace.
Look, mission impossible to drop a few lines without dropping old times when Southern Hill was still a gold mine. When pistol grips was my shit and I sold mine. When Alias was not a show and they told mine.
CLB.